All right, good evening, everybody. We are so thankful that you decided to come on out and join us here for the It Starts With Me campaign. We've had a great week thus far. We've really had a great start, and we're really looking forward to continuing on with our campaign tonight for this spoken word poetry event. So to kind of talk about the inspiration behind this campaign and specifically this event, one big thing that we're trying to get people to do with this campaign is to, as our shirts say, just pause, take a moment, listen to each other's stories, listen to each other's perspectives, and really try to understand each other before we jump to stereotypes, before we jump to things that we assume that we knew about a person or a group of people. But just pause, take a moment, listen to a story, and also be brave enough to tell your story. So that's kind of the inspiration behind tonight. Through poetry, through spoken word, poetry and spoken word are some of my favorite forms of art, of communication, because it's just such a beautiful way to tell one's individual story in a way that can really strike a note with everyone in the room. So that's kind of our goal for tonight. It's going to be pretty relaxed and pretty low-key. And thank you so much for our performers for agreeing to join us tonight. Before we move on, I definitely want to give a promo for the rest of the week. Our It Starts With MEek campaign will be going on until Tuesday. We've got some great events coming up tomorrow and on Monday. And on Tuesday, we'll be concluding it with the Farley Festival right out here. And also keep in mind, if you did not beforehand, get your program stamped. If you get 2 stamps in your program, you get a free t-shirt at the Farley Festival. Additionally, if you come to the Farley Festival wearing any sort of purple, you will get a free Chick-fil-A sandwich. So come on and grab some lunch with us. We'll be glad to have you along. All right, I talked too much, so I'm going to go ahead and transfer it over to our performers. To start off, we have a great performer, great poet by the name of Maggie Smith, and also Maggie's a part of Green Week here at Ole Miss. And Maggie, I was wondering if you'd tell us real quick about what Green Week has been doing and what the Department of Sustainability will be doing in the future.
Okay, a little shameless plug before I start. So Green Week is the Office of Sustainability's week-long campaign of events, programming designed to promote sustainable initiatives on campus. Actually, tonight and here at 7 o'clock, we're going to be having Dr. David Haskell, a prominent biologist and writer, one of my favorite writers, and he's going to be delivering our keynote address. And then we're also going to be having a work day at Woodlawn Davis, a new nature center, from 8 to noon. So if you're not doing anything tonight or tomorrow, you should definitely try to come to some Green Week programming. So I guess I'll just start with a little information about me. So like Billy said, I am a poet, but another one of my interests, if you couldn't tell, is environment and nature. So that's always been kind of hard for people to reconcile. Like they're always really confused, and I was confused about it for a while as well. But recently in one of my classes, creative writing classes, I was writing about my childhood, and I noticed that a lot of my childhood memories relate back to the environment and to nature. So it was a really cool opportunity for me to kind of explore that and explore nature in my writing. So I'm going to read a couple of those for you right now. Milo. Milo, the kitten who took up residence in the storm drains of our quiet suburb, slinked through the fence posts after the greatwood slats began to rot, but before the flesh inside our chests did. His kingdom began and ended in the one ripe corner of our yard where our dogwood tree and my brother's construction daydreams took root. My sister and I would lay down, summer rain wet grass and long matted hair brushing on our backs, Milo on our chests, his mewling mingled with the sound of wind rushing through the ankle-high grass our father always said he would cut. When our father fixed the loose board to appease our mother, who feared scratches and sickness and sneezing, we heard Milo pawing, whining, trying to get in again. I could picture the soft wood peeling away, clinging to his young claws. The pawing eventually ceased, and with it went the mewling, and crisp afternoons spent in patchy sunlight. Sometimes I think I hear him at my door at night, pleading. In the dream, I can never get the door open before his crying stops. And this next one is called Brown Sugar Rabbit. When my mother spies ragged edges on the leaves of her zinnias and black-eyed Susans, she clicks her tongue. Rabbits. She mutters the word under her breath when she thinks I'm not listening. That summer, I sit cross-legged in the backyard from the time swim practice ends until I cannot stand the mosquitoes, and it becomes too dark to read my copy of The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I do not catch a glimpse of a rabbit until it is time for Eustace and Lucy and Edmund to return to Earth, and my mother has asked me if I need pencils for school this year. The sun has hidden itself behind the gray slats of the fence, and I have closed my book when the grass rustles. He is the color of brown sugar my mother uses when she bakes. I imagine if I touch him, he will crumble just the same. When he takes one step forward and settles into the grass, I reach out my hand. His nose twitches once, and then he is gone, bolted back to burrow under the hedges. I lie on my back and let the mosquitoes suck on my outstretched legs and arms. I think maybe if I lay very still, maybe even fall asleep, I will wake up nose to nose with my brown sugar rabbit. And then this last one is called The Tomato Plants. The tomatoes mirrored the shape of my 6-year-old fist, firm in some places, lumpy in others. Cupped in my palms, I pricked the taut skin with one small thumbnail and lapped up the dribbling juice that eked out. The vines that twined around the post were skinny and fragile, clingy but limp, much like how I felt in my 8-year-old frame. I caressed the dirt, relished the grime taking up residence under my nails. I remember the day when my brother took a shovel to the pot I had painted with my name. I saw the vines strung out like emaciated corpses. I saw the pulp, thick in some places, runny in others, smeared across the brick like the entrails of a rabbit. My mother grew impatient when after 2 days I was still inconsolable, still carrying around shards of my polka dot garden center pot. "Grow another," she said. And I tried, but it was as though my thumbs had turned black, not from contact with the earth, but from the knowledge that things could die. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much, Maggie, for starting us on such a great note. Real quick note, we'll be, I guess, hip within like snap after each reading. We'll go with that. I like that. All right, so I believe you can go ahead and go next since you do need to sneak out. So if y'all would please, we'll start with applause as they come up. Give our applause for our next performer.
My name is Amaya Jones. I'm a freshman BA in theater arts student here at the university. I see some familiar faces in the crowd, so y'all don't think I'm crazy. I'm not waving at ghosts. I started my journey with spoken word at the age of 4, and that's kind of young, but you know, poems about crayons slowly turned to poems about, you know, going on trips, and now I'm here, and this poem is very special to me because it was written during a time where I felt like poetry was the only thing that could save me. And so I really hope you enjoy it, and the title of this piece is Continuous Apology. The moment my eyes open, the words "I'm sorry" are already falling from my lips. That's the price you have to pay when you walk, sleep, run, speak, dress, eat like this, as if getting up out of the bed isn't enough. I'm fearful and confused because what do I do when my feet in the ground touch? How many more failures will I accomplish today? I'm already a woman, and black, and not skinny enough, and not thick enough, and not weak enough, and not strong enough, yet not feminine enough, and not masculine enough because I cry a lot. Especially when I have nothing left to do. That's what I do. I never asked for this cursed blessing. That's why I start apologizing from the moment we meet. Hi, I'm sorry. I'm Amaya, who's sorry for being imperfect and sorry. I've been apologizing ever since I was small, when hands brought me back to life, although I was already gone, and nursed me back to health till I was strong. I'm sorry. I scared you half to death, doctor, mama, granny. I almost lost myself. And Father, I'm sorry, I'm so messed up, and I guess you knew I would be this way. That's why you left us. I've been apologizing ever since I was small, when hands touched me in places they didn't belong. I'm sorry to the one who touched. I imagine in your eyes I responded wrong when I screamed and cried. And according to you, I lied to the kids who bullied me. I'm sorry, I'm so different. I really tried to tone it down, but my character wouldn't shut up. I couldn't get my personality and creativity to stop screaming. To those who broke my heart, I'm sorry, I wasn't good enough. And you had to find a different kind of love somewhere else. To him, he knows who he is. I'm sorry, my heart, no matter how much you press against the doors, won't let you in. I'm trying to fix it, but I can't because I'm always finding a new reason why I don't deserve you. Granny, I'm sorry that I keep discovering new parts of myself and hiding them from you. But I gave you a telescope, and you didn't use it because you kept acting as if there aren't any stars to see. Keep in mind that the moon and the stars are always there during the day. They never leave. They just hide. To my brother and sister, on the outside, I seem like the perfect role model, I know, but on the inside, I'm dying. I'm sorry for lying and telling you I'm okay. Not trying to rain on anyone's parade, just trying to apologize for breathing, for trying, for confusing, for crying, for laughing, for singing, for learning. I'm doing the best I can to make it through this life without welfare, America. I'm trying to ignore the screams and the cries of my people. I'm trying not to be a sex symbol. I'm trying to everyone. I'm trying. I'm doing the best I can. And I'm sorry that it will never be enough. What if it never rained? What if the sun only shined on Monday and Sunday? What if we only were allowed to smile 5 times a day? Sometimes in life we miss the beauty in the simple avenues and paths we take because we won't give our minds permissions to do so. Why? I keep bleeding, but I haven't died yet. Why haven't I died yet? Can I just die already? That would at least be peaceful, at least more calm. At least no one will be able to use me like a tissue and throw me away when they're all done. At least I'll be alone finally. That way no one can hurt me, desert me anymore, make false promises with the very same lips that were used to kiss me. I'm tired of looking for something that doesn't want me to find it. Why? The letter right before Z that explains why lately I haven't been able to sleep. I'm tired of sharing or having it all and it not being enough. I'm a lot more quiet these days, mainly because I feel like what I have to say doesn't matter and my throat hurts from past experiences of screaming way too much. I feel everything. And that's mainly the problem. My life's an open book, and everyone wants to take a look, but no one wants to buy it. But everyone wants to try it, but no one wants to subscribe. So am I still alive? Or am I just sorry?
Thank you so much for sharing that. That was fantastic. Thank you. Next up, I believe we're going to go with Emily Davis. If you're ready. Let's give Emily a hand as she comes up.
So I guess I'll keep with the tradition that everybody else. I'm Emily Davis. I'm a journalism major here at the University of Mississippi. And even though we don't have a minor in it, I'm a creative writing minor. I hope that hopefully one day that kicks up. I'm in the advanced poetry writing class with Amy Nazuka Matatil. She is the Grisham in writing residence. And before this year, I hated poetry. I still kind of hate poetry a little bit, but I've found that not all poetry has to be hated. So just bear with me on this. It's titled, The Age of Me. Birth. I'm a rainbow baby. For those of you who do not know, that's a baby born after a miscarriage. My mother missed her, what would be firstborn, but loves me and is glad I had a chance to come into this world. She wouldn't trade me for anything, not even what could have been. I was born in 1993. Any 90s babies out there. While my mother doesn't dwell on it, I always wondered what she thought on the day I was born. Did she wonder who I would be or what kind of world she brought me into? Only she knows. Hey, I had just been born. What did I know? 5. When I turned 5, my mom drove me to school in the outfit she had handmade for me. Kindergarten is where you learn that handmade clothes are not a sign of wealth, but a sign of poverty. At least that's how the other kids saw it, and they made me feel as they showed off new shoes and backpacks, and I wore and carried hand-me-downs. As kids told me my clothes were ugly, so therefore, so was I. This trend never stops, by the way, except I won't realize it until I'm in my 20s, but we'll get to that later. 10. I'm in 5th grade, and I go to Sunday school and church every Sunday. I'm taught that homosexuality is a sin, tattoos are a sin, and to wear a skirt too short, much too short, that makes the pastor and deacons feel uncomfortable is a sin, and I must never act on my sins. 11. I was kissed by an 8th grader. In grade 6, he broke up with me the next day because my first kiss was bad, apparently. I should have practiced first, I guess. That's when the realization that a woman's sexuality was all a man wanted. At 11, I wished I was sexually experienced. 13. I achieved my second kiss. I was told that a girl with short hair in a pixie style meant that I was a lesbian. Because I've been raised as a Southern Baptist all my life, I had to prove him wrong. That problem, one thing, led to another, and at 13, I was almost conned into giving a 15-year-old boy my virginity. Be careful what you wish for, right? 14 through 18. I wish I could say things got better, but they didn't. As a woman, once stories about you and your sexuality get out, you are a whore, and from then on, you move from boy to boy with the same, all expecting the same from you. At 18, I finally lost my virginity to a man I thought I loved, but he didn't love me, and at all, after giving a part of yourself away, you change. I really didn't love him. 20. When I was 20, I got engaged, but not before I got sick and couldn't do what married couples do. Now at 23, people tell me I'm lucky. My husband hasn't left me for someone better because I'm still sick. At 23, I have a husband who loves me more than words can say. His actions do it for him. He sees right through me and loves me raw and uncut side no one has ever seen. I've gone through all of this being told that I'm lucky for this and lucky for that, but the thing is, luck has nothing to do with it. Neither does my sexuality, gender, ethnicity, race, or how I look. Everything has led me to this moment only for me to say I was born different on purpose, and I'll fulfill my purpose because I was born different.
Thank you so much, Emily. We greatly appreciate it. Mr. Webb, right? All right, he's suited up and ready to roll. How about you go ahead and give it a shot?
All right, my name is DeAndre Webb. I'm a lead technician for the retreat at Oxford. I'm currently not in school. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I did attend school for a business administration minor in marketing. Thank you, Mr. Rainey, for allowing me to speak today.
It's our pleasure.
Now, I wrote these two pieces inspiring for the beautiful woman. No color, no size, no shape. And the reason I wrote this is simply because, and there are actually two pieces if you don't mind. I wrote these pieces because, you know, far too often do people get misled by what a pretty girl is or what an attractive woman is. And the first piece is entitled Fresh Garden. Excuse me. Fresh garden. Today I woke up refreshed, you know, the type of refreshment like warm laundry or that first breeze on a summer day. I slept like a baby. After my cry for something so amazing, I wanted to take you there, show you something, learn you something new. That refreshing pillar of destiny, fate, was something you couldn't redo. Not the fact that you smelled like fresh fruit in a basket of a blossoming garden. You easily became my target. No bargains. Just so I don't miss, I'll go so hard, and I was foggy in the past. I gained my visions. Now the only thing left was take this riddle and solve it. I'm logged in. Your gorgeous smile and tender skin has me clogged up like a too little shoe. My stomach filled with knot, my toes bunched up. I'm all in. I'm speaking on the mere challenges. Call them small because little did you recognize is what we came to involve in. I'm the black rose and you keep me alive. I'm a plant in your garden. I'll take that role of that single solitary soul. Keep me refreshed. Water me, I'm bold. The beauty in our hearts come close. Come closer to this flower bed. Let me alter your perspective. You know, as you reach for this black rose, I'll patiently wait on you to move this flower towards your face for a smell And the closer you get, I think about how to plant my juice-filled lips on something so edible. I could nibble on the bottom, maybe even the top too. I'm just a plant trying to blossom in your fresh garden. Fine as wine, vintage, like 1869. At first, I sat and thought about the way you walk with a sway of confidence. Head high, nose in the air, flowing in a long black dress full of medallions, stones, jet black like the back of a beautiful whale with a snow-white stomach. In and out of the water, gracefully, not even creating a splash. Like a poisonous snake, you straddle side to side. A smile so big, so bright, my lenses changed. I saw in a different light. I no longer wanted to think of or the reference I saw for you as admiration. The problem is, out of the womb, you were fresh, a beast, not so apparent. Though you had strong will and ambition, you were as soft and as sweet as a fresh slice of cheesecake. Run with me. Forget your frustrations and mild-tempered emotions that nullify your fear. I only wanted to help you get away, all the while like nor lust ever existed. I could only think about the love of a good crack bottle of wine. Fine but vintage, like 1869. Thank you.
Thanks so much, man. We appreciate it. All right. Ms. Williams, you ready? Pardon me. It's all yours.
My name is Andronita Williams, and I'm a journalism major here at the university with a minor in African American Studies. Okay, I'm going to share with you a poem that was inspired by struggles that African Americans still face today. It is entitled "A Day in My Skin." To enjoy the comforts of life without fear, to be free, to be important, to matter equally, to inhale without being afraid to exhale, to be free completely and not partially. Privileges that do not belong to me. As an American, where is my liberty? Every day I step outside, I step into a war zone, targets on my back, pushed down, face down, beaten down, gunned down, all because I'm black. The united, ununited, in which I stand. So I take a knee, yet peacefully, but then I'm criticized, terrified, terrorized, all because of a skin that I can't peel off. You're like, what's the big deal? I'm telling you how it feels to be black in America. Where is the unity within our communities? Where is the change that my ancestors brought, finishing up a battle that was already fought? I search beyond the depths of history for an understanding deeper than the webs of my eyes. I am pain. I seek love in a world that's colorblind. I dream a dream that Martin Luther could not live to find. Oh, how I long to live in a world of equal perception. You know, where inclusion is not an exception. A happy ending where we all win. This is a glimpse into a day in my skin.
Thank you so much. Is Rhett here? Rhett, you're up, man.
That was a really loud zipper. Hi, my name's Rhett Unbehagen. I am an investment banking major here at the University of Mississippi. I realize that is not the usual major for someone who writes poetry, but I would like to share two pieces with you guys, if that's okay. This first piece, if I can find it, there it is. This first piece was written, it's called The Usual, and it was actually the first piece that I actually wrote in this journal. It was written after a very close family friend of mine passed away for a open mic situation in his honor. So it doesn't have, it's not a big downer, so don't get ready to be in the fields and stuff. But I'd like to share a story with you guys. So I was sitting in a coffee shop the other day, and a man walked in and said 4 words that changed the whole way that I view the world. I'll have the usual. Elementary, right? Maybe for you, but it kept me up at night. How can one person go their entire life, every day, getting the same thing? And then I thought about it. We all have our usuals, don't we? Here's my usual. I wake up in the morning, and then I go back to sleep. And then I'll wake up again, and then I'll fall back asleep. And then I wake up and realize that I've run out of time, so I rush and put all my clothes on, I get my dog ready. If I need to, I'll tie my tie, and then I'll run out the door realizing that I forgot at least 3 things. But I should break the cycle. I don't want my life to be a usual on a coffee shop menu, mainly because most coffee shops nowadays are way underrated and overpriced. But mostly, I don't want a sheet of paper in front of my face just to say what's on my mind. You shouldn't even have to rhyme every time. Just unwire my jaw, switch rapid fire on, and leap into the fray yelling, "Forward unto dawn!" No, that's too much. I'll just have the usual. Because you know what I usually do? I think. Just sink into my seat and converse with myself mentally like some slightly supported subconscious shrink. Now add a splash of ink, and people think, that's art. But it's not. That's a Rorschach blot. You can't get inked and then just pretend that someone was on your heart. And if you can hear me, I'm sorry. My sleeves aren't perfect. I wasn't paying attention when you showed me that part. I wish you were here so you could pick up where you left off. But I do think a lot. I think about what to say, and then how to word it, or telling certain words to the person who deserves it. I think about my aunt's address, and how good a silver dress looks next to a phantom-striped Calvin Klein tuxedo suit. And I'm sorry if this poem sucks, but my inspiration's been gone for at least a year. Well, 4. But George Watsky told me to never stop writing, so I don't plan on ceasing anytime soon. So I'll say whatever I want if it's written on paper. I don't sweat because my passion heats it instantly to vapor. I'm sick of my usual. I'll kick in those coffee shop doors. Stop. Calm down. Just the usual. Nothing more. Sit down. Learn from what you've seen. Maybe one day someone will come along who can teach me how to be a man and not a well-oiled machine. I understand being efficient, but I don't want to drink motor oil anymore. I don't pay attention, because what's going on in my mind is way more important than what's going on in yours. And if you have to ask, then no. We're not friends anymore. I'm getting off track. But hey, that's usual for me anyway. The point is, my usual is just fine, but I'd like to try yours someday. Thank you. That's the wrong paper. Come on. There it is. I had the right one the first time. This next one's called My Apologies. Look, I'm sorry, but I'll only apologize for the fact that there are things in this world that are out of my control. I'm sorry that you have to spend a fortune just to make your car roll. I'm sorry that politicians are corrupt. War can't be stopped, and no matter how much people have, they still don't have enough. I'm sorry that real-world problems are overshadowed by celebrities, and the government is capable of putting our freedom in jeopardy. I'm sorry that we can give away millions on game shows but can't pull ourselves out of debt. I'm sorry that these things carry on left unchecked. And I will apologize for the things that I've done as soon as food apologizes for not being free, life apologizes for being too short, or cancer apologizes for robbing so many families. I'm sorry that that's how people think nowadays, but it shouldn't take someone going first. You should be able to do it on your own when you know it needs to be done. It's not always going to be fun. So I'm going to save you all the trouble and go first. Here we go. I'm sorry that I'm not good at letting my feelings show. I'm sorry that sometimes I get lost in my mind and lose my phone and keys all the time. I'm sorry that I could be on the verge of tears and in all honesty, can't tell you why. I'm sorry that sometimes I just don't feel like talking. I'm sorry that I don't want to be restricted to just walking. I'm sorry that I occasionally lack patience. I'm sorry that the rest of my life will rely on medications. I'm sorry that I say the wrong thing at the wrong time. I'm sorry if you never think that I'm in my right mind. I'm sorry that I'm too good at making bad decisions. And I'm sorry that I feel like I don't need your permission. I'm sorry that I make mistakes. I'm sorry I'm not normal. I'm sorry I like dressing up. My handwriting's horrible. I won't apologize, however, for simply being me, because in this crazy world, that's all you can get for free. I know that I'm not perfect, and my workmanship is shoddy, but now it's your turn. So step right up and simply say, I'm sorry. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Zacchaeus, did you want to read anything, or? All right. Is there anyone else after that was hoping to perform tonight after him? Would you like to perform as well? All right. Zacchaeus, it's all you, man. Oh, yeah. Keep forgetting to applaud.
All right, good evening. This is going to be really hard to follow up all these great artists in front of me right now. So I guess start off with the simple. So I'm Zach. I'm Zacchaeus McEwen from Macomb, Mississippi. I'm a junior here at the university, majoring in integrated marketing communications, and a double minor in business administration and aerospace studies. So I started out doing oratorical speeches since I could talk. Growing up, as you know, in the Baptist church, like Easter Sunday, we always had to do speeches. So, and my mom is not fond of those short lines. Happy Easter. So I always said long passages, and so, and then when I turned 16, no, correction. When I turned 14, it was my first time going to Washington, D.C., and I went to Busboys and Poets. I went to like my first poetry slam night, and it was amazing. And so started writing then. My best friend does it way better than me, but I actually stopped writing until Billy, said that he wanted to do a spoken word. So I was like, dang, so I literally woke up in the middle of the night and wrote this. So, all right. So the title is Grass Ain't Greener on the Other Side. You know, they say that grass is greener on the other side. But there was a time when I begged to differ. There was a time when I felt love, a time when I was love, a time that seemed to be consistent with the way I felt about you. Sadly, that time is gone away into the abyss of nothingness, time that took my focus, time that made me feel hopeless because, see, I knew it was wrong from the beginning. The thing is, my heart was already in it, in someone else's hands, but yet I wasn't satisfied. Happy but not satisfied. And y'all look into my eyes asking, what in the hell does he mean? Happy but not satisfied. Simple. I was content. True enough. But I knew better was out there. And then temptation came along. Yes, I'm calling you temptation because I gave up a moment of happiness for a glimpse of satisfaction. Finally, the way it felt, your kisses, your words. Yet I'm standing here tonight spilling out these words. Why? Because I realize that it's true. Grass ain't greener on the other side. Is there something wrong? Am I not good enough? Or is it just the fact that I don't like to touch? The least of my love language is touch. How I love fearlessly, emotionally, intellectually, with loyalty. How words of affirmation fill me and validates. The most of my love language. I desire to know your truth. Your honesty on how you feel simply about me. I'm sorry that you couldn't see me, the God in me that loves life endlessly. I'm sorry that I have to get over you because if I don't, I'll forever live in the shadows that haunt me. I should have known better. So heed my words as I stand here today, spilling out these words. Why? Because I realize that it's true. Grass ain't greener on the other side. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Zach. We greatly appreciate it. Were there any other artists who were hoping to speak tonight? If so, raise your hand. All right. Absolutely, you can. Come on. We'd be glad to hear it. Bring it on. Let's give her another round of applause.
Everybody else that came up here is taller than I am. I always say that I'm too short for any job. This one's titled Mentally Sick. Being strapped to my desk by my own mental fear is sick. I feel as I go nowhere even when I move forward. Sick. Stuck in one place as I fall apart, no one notices. As I walk, all eyes are on me, as ruled by society. Sick. Some call me lucky, gorgeous, talented even, but even my own family made my inherited brain sick. When my anxiety starts generations ahead, it's hard to keep up. My own grandmother, with her white hair, cursed me, making it sick. I stare out the windows, my anxiety threatens to consume my mind. I'm not sure if I will ever have enough time. Sick. Maybe if I take this, maybe if I take that, maybe I just need more sleep. Maybe I am sick. Juggling my job, my family, my school, even my life is a chore. They say these are the best years of my life. Maybe if best equals sick. Do this, do that. I'm not sure if I'll ever make it back to where I'm supposed to be. Will anyone ever be proud of me? Sick. It's all in your head. Get up and go. There are things you need to do. Why? Why do anything when all I ever am is sick? I'm belittled and made to feel non-existent, yet I'm put into a mental asylum to deal with the possibility that I'll always be indebted to sick. I like to think that I'm not alone, but even the voices in my head stopped talking to me long ago. No one wants me because I'm sick. Everyone suffers a little sometimes, but no one more than me, because my mental physique is more thin than anything. Sick. I want to help my sister. She treads the same path closely, but how? How can I save her when I can't even function myself? Sick. I'll dig myself out, though. Eventually, I'll be where I belong, because my name is Emily, meaning hardworking, striving, and sick.
Emily, again, thank you so much. We definitely appreciate your work that you brought tonight. Were there any other submissions before we conclude? All right. Well, hey, so again, the whole point of this night is to learn the importance of telling a story, the importance of listening to a story, and also the importance of realizing that every single person in this room has a story to tell and a story that's worth telling. So in whatever way that you find is best to tell your story, definitely go out there and do it. I think we can all agree from some stories we've heard tonight that that a good story can really open our eyes, open our hearts to each other, find things that we may relate to each other with, and also find things that we need to listen more about. And that's the whole purpose of this night. And I definitely encourage everyone in here to find the story that they want to tell with their lives, in whatever form it may be. Not all of us are great poets or spoken word artists. I don't have any rhythm whatsoever, so I sure can't do it. But all of us has a story worth telling and a great way to tell it. So figure out what that is and know that your story is always worth telling. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to say tomorrow we have some great events coming up. Again, we're going till Tuesday, but specifically tomorrow for the It Starts With MEek campaign. We're super excited for a great day of bringing it all back home as alumni return to share their experiences, starting with 10 a.m. Race in America, a journalist perspective. Jesse Holland, a race and ethnicity reporter for the Associated Press, will be speaking there. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we'll have a panel of Black MEek School alumni discuss their experiences as students and professionals at 11 a.m. 1 p.m., a panel of Black MEek School alumni discuss I apologize. I had a mistake right there. At 2 p.m., we're going to have Red, Blue, and Rainbow alumni. So those of the LGBT community will discuss their experiences as students, as alumni, and talk about how their experience maybe compare and contrast it to their college experience, see how it kind of goes on into the professional lives. And then 3 p.m., we're going to have My Journey from Farley Hall to major news events around the world. That's Shepard Smith of Fox News, who's very gracious to come down and partake in this event. He'll also be moderating the event at 2 p.m. for LGBT alumni. And then we're going to have for any MEek students, come dress up in some business casual. We'll have a reception afterwards if you want to meet some of the speakers and hang out. For any MEek students, we'd be glad to have you. Thanks so much for coming. If you have any questions about It Starts With Meek, come talk to any of us wearing this shirt. We'd be glad to help. And let's give one more round of applause for all of our performers tonight.